Let's cook vegetable soup together. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been quite a long time I posted my cooking vlogs, and today I decided to make one for you guys to watch. So today I'm going to be cooking Nigerian vegetable soup using spinach and kale leaf. In Nigeria, we normally use water leaf and vegetable to cook vegetable soup. But because in US here, there is no water leaf and there is no vegetable, I had to substitute with spinach and kale leaf. Now I'm using spinach in place of water leaf, then kale leaf in place of vegetable leaf. To me, vegetable soup is the easiest to cook and is also less stressful. It doesn't take time to cook. The only work there is cutting vegetable. You have to wash all these vegetables, cut them. At the end of the day, your nails will be green. I think to me, that's just why I don't really like cooking it. Okay, enough of the talking. Let's dive into the preparation. I started prepping with washing of the vegetables. I started with spinach. I had to make sure I washed it thoroughly to avoid sand. If you're cooking your vegetable soup, you have to make sure you wash it thoroughly. Once there is sand in those vegetables, you won't be able to eat them. That's why I always take my time to wash them one by one. And this is the part that takes almost all my time in preparing it. That is why I had to start with the vegetable first, because I know once I'm done with the vegetable, I'm good to go. Now, after thoroughly washing the vegetables, you have to slice them. Slice them, and this is where the work comes in. This is just the part where I would always run from cooking vegetable soup. One thing about these leaves I'm using to cook is that it doesn't rise the quantity of the soup. No matter the amount that you used, the soup will always come out small. Unlike the ugu leaf and water leaf that we normally use for this particular soup. But since we can't find those here, we had to use these ones. I had to manage them like that. Now that I'm done with cutting the vegetables, let's enter the next steps, which is preparing the proteins I'm using for it. So I'm going to be using stockfish, blackfish, crayfish, and goat meat for this particular soup. I thoroughly washed the stockfish. After washing it, I had to boil it for 1 hour because of how strong it is. I boiled it separately because I needed to give it enough time to soften. As the stockfish is boiling, I started slicing the beef that I'm going to use for it to the size that I wanted. After slicing it, I washed it. Then I added it to the stockfish that is already boiling. Then I added some spices to give it a taste. Take note that I was supposed to put the meat and the stockfish together to cook, but because the meat they have over here doesn't take time to cook, just give it like 5 minutes and it will be done, like really done. Now the meat and the stockfish all together and they are all done. So the first step I'm going to take is to add a good amount of red oil to it. There is no vegetable soup without a good amount of oil. After adding the red oil, you stir. Then go ahead to add your crayfish, then your nut cubes, and your pepper. Then stir them all together and leave for like 3 minutes to boil. Then after that, you add your spinach. That is the first thing to add. You add your spinach. Remember, I didn't use any water for this. The only water I used was the water from the stockfish and the meat, and it's really a small amount of water. Do not pour water in your vegetable soup. Now, are you seeing the amount of vegetables I used for this soup? And it's really going down, especially the spinach. I wanted this soup to come up to a good quantity, but at the end of the day, it came out really small. After adding all the vegetables, you leave it for like 1 minute to steam. Then you turn off the gas. Now that I'm done adding all the vegetables, are you seeing how the soup came out really nice? There is not too much water. There is a good amount of oil on it. And I'm not joking, this soup really came out really nice. Now that I'm done cooking the soup, as you can see, it really came out nice. I'm going to help you again to highlight the ingredients I used for this soup. The vegetables I used are spinach and kale leaf. Then the proteins are stockfish, blackfish, and beef. The swallow I'm going to use and eat this soup is gari, which I've already made one. Now I'm dishing soup for myself and ready to devour this soup. You guys should come and join me to eat this delicious and wonderful meal. Let me leave these tips for you before you go. Avoid too much salt and water when cooking vegetable soup. See you in my next video. Bye.